Good evening, friends, and welcome to FCTV's Poetic License March 2024. This is an open mic where we share live music, poetry, prose, and my name is Donna Shear. I'm your host tonight. The suggested theme for tonight is siblings. Whether your share concerns blood relatives or brothers and sisters of the heart, we're so glad to have you with our FCTV family tonight. And hello out there. For our televised audience, we're so happy you found your way to our new home. This is Channel 6 now. A shout out to fellow performer Patricia Austin, who is recovering from a medical emergency. We wish her well and we send her prayers for a speedy recovery. She is small, but she is mighty. So good luck, Patricia. Now I'm going to encourage you to become a member of the FCTV family. You can do this by volunteering, you could take classes, you could participate, but mostly the best way is to become a member. And the nice thing is that FCTV single membership is still only $35 a month, and all the wonderful things that this supports for this nonprofit organization. And now, on with the show. Hello, performers. So happy to see you all here tonight. Just a reminder, there is a 4-minute time limit. When you come up to the mic, after you make your mic adjustments, please repeat your name before you begin your share. We have 2 new faces tonight, and so make sure that when they're welcomed up to the mic that you give them a really good round of applause. Welcome to becoming. Okay, I'm going to start us off. My sister Gloria was 9 years younger than me and my twin brother. She passed away unexpectedly a little over a year ago. And I miss a lot of things about her. But the thing that I miss the most is her laugh. So this is for my sister. It's called No One Else. No one else. No one else could make me laugh like you. Even from miles away by phone, I could always hear the smile in your voice. Imagine your lips flipping up at the corners. Like a summer rain, we'd begin with a mist of humor. Maybe some old family story so horrid we needed to drag it over the edge of outrage into absurdity. One-upping, embellishing, finishing one another's sentences. Our giggles rose high tide. Cackles shape-shifted to full belly howls, drenched and storm-poured until tears tumble, until we can barely breathe. Once the storm has passed, how refreshed we feel, oxygenated with joy, endorphined in delight, effervescent and reborn. That's for my sister. Thank you. Whoops, no problems with the mic, just the papers. So, happy to welcome Ellen Todd to the microphone. So good to see you, my dear.
This one was a challenge for me to write about. Sibling relationships can be complicated, sometimes good, sometimes not, sometimes mixed. Age differences can give each a different experience when sharing the same parents and living in the same home, but at a different time. and those two parents can create children with very different personalities and interests. I remember wonderful times when my grandparents visited along with one or two of my grandfather's sisters and their husbands. They also visited each other's homes and traveled together to Canada for fishing trips. The siblings liked each other and enjoyed each other's company. They also liked each other's spouses, despite the competition between Grandma and her sister-in-law, Great Aunt Martha. Each one considered herself the better cook. I recall learning to knit from my grandmother and Great Aunt Martha. I also remember playing many Scrabble games with my grandparents and one of the other couples. They took turns advising me on how to play my hand until the day that I took advantage of a word that they played, leaving a letter where I could add 7 more letters to make the word duckling, playing on a triple word block and using all 7 of my letters so that I got an extra 50 points. It was either my grandmother or great aunt who stood up straight and said, "Well, I guess you don't need our help any longer." I was 12 or 13, and from that day, I was welcomed as a competent Scrabble player. I still have my grandparents' Scrabble boards and sometimes play a game or two with my husband. We are just as competitive as my relatives were, and we also remain friends after even the most disparate of games. For years, I thought that friendship was the norm in my grandfather's family. I was surprised to learn a few years ago that the 2 oldest sisters did not have the same close relationship with my grandfather that he had with his 2 younger sisters. They sometimes found the older sisters irritating, especially Aunt Harriet, who was described as enjoying poor health all her life. Still, they included her in large family gatherings and treated her with tolerance and affection. I've also been working on a research project writing about my 4th great-grandfather, his wives, and their children. Women often died young during his life in the 1800s, and he was married 3 times, having a total of 11 children. I've read letters written to and from the children of his 3rd wife, from whom I'm descended. It's interesting to notice the different personalities among these full siblings, and to notice that there are even more differences with the half-siblings. When I consider that the oldest by the 1st wife was 17 when my 3rd great-grandmother was born, it's not surprising that there was little closeness between him and the offspring of the 3rd wife. Yet, when he did pay a surprise visit many years later, one of his half-sisters wrote about him with tolerance, affection, and regret that their mutual father was away from home. The oldest son by the 2nd wife was more involved with his younger half-siblings, perhaps because he went into his father's business and had more contact with his younger brother and half-sisters. Still, when their parents died, the older half-brother had some hard feelings about the terms of his father's will. These resentments were healed, but it took time and effort from the younger siblings to make things feel right. Thinking about these differences in my ancestry has helped me come to terms with my own sibling relationships. My sister and I have not always had an easy time, but we're in a good place today and have been so for several years. I think we've both grown to learn forgiveness and tolerance. Those lessons have allowed us to deepen our friendship, and I hope we can support that throughout our lives. I don't know if my brother and I will ever find our way to a deeper friendship, and I've grown to accept that. But I was recently looking at some old family pictures of my brother as a newborn, my sister as a newborn, of me as a 1st grader reading to my 5-year-old and 3-year-old siblings, and a variety of Christmas pictures and other old family pictures. I was reminded of a sweet and very active little boy and my mother's story that I proudly announced to all of the neighbors that I had a new baby sister and his name was Bill. I might have been confused at that time about who was actually the sister, but I did know that I loved my brother and later that I loved my sister. Perhaps it's okay now to change my expectations. I don't need to be best friends with my brother, but if I can remember loving my little brother, and have acceptance of the man he is now, who knows where that might lead.
Thank you so much, Ellen. What beautiful memories. And, the whole idea of when you have a family and then strangers start entering the family, and then you've got more and more people that you have to worry about and think about and try to be friends with and all of that. It's just, ain't families fun? But that was cool. And I also love the memory about playing Scrabble. That was a favorite game of ours, too. Well, let's hear from John Jackson.
That's about right. For Tony. Okay. My name is John Jackson, and my blog is limericksofprotest.com. So, yeah, I do a lot of topical limericks, let's say. So let's do a quick review of the last month's news. And the half-life of political humor is pretty short. The half-life of the news is pretty short. There are some things I'm going to say that just ain't true anymore. Okay. The spray-tanned comb-over blonde must post $500 million in bond. If Laura Trump offers the RNC coffers, the GOP truly is conned. Timing. The Supreme Court will hear in the spring the presidential immunity thing. Sorry, these lips are rented. We'll hear by July if Trump's alibi and trial defense is unraveling. Lesser of two evils. I'm independent, Super Tuesday, not voting for Joe. Instead, to be tricky, I'm voting for Nikki. Best way to give Donald a no. Free speech can be expensive. Jean Carroll, we know Trump's not fond, to the point where he had to post bond. $5 million to pay till he had more to say. Which one of the two's the dumb blonde? Deja vu. Cast is set, we know what we knew. The sequel, Trump versus Biden, Part 2. Not a blockbuster, but rather lackluster. Neither party shows anything new. Not for sale. If Letitia James is displeased, she'll have Trump's property seized. MAGA's golden boy is like a dog toy. He makes a rude noise when he's squeezed. Update. That bond reduced things in the bag, but an April trial will be a drag, and he can't use his furors to intimidate jurors because he's already under a gag. New RNC staff they are choosing, the interview questions they're using. If a job there requires election deniers, they know that they are already losing. NIMBY. Port of Baltimore shut down by God. Replacing that bridge, I applaud. But Buttigieg and Biden, I pray, aren't deciding to build a new port of Cape Cod. And in the local news, our septic and house renovation starts off with some excavation. The great diesel shovel is shaking our hovel, filling its owners with trepidation. And back on to siblings. This one needs a little explanation. 60 years ago, almost at Easter, I am there, so I guess so's my sister. The vending machine keeps marshmallow peeps when the OB smacked Brother Ben on the keister. That's one of my earliest memories, is the waiting room at the Falmouth Hospital having peeps in the vending machine. I was 4 years old. I have absolutely no idea if that was true, but that's my story. I'm going to stick to it. I can't ask my sister to verify. Not only was she only 2, but she claims she remembers she was at our grandmother's pulling Kleenex out of a box and getting into trouble for it. So Anyway, happy birthday, Ben. Hi, Martha and sisters and siblings, and thank you.
Thank you, John. That's my laugh for the week. God bless you. I like some of those titles you had on them this month. That's really cool. Thank you. Let's see. Our first guitar man.
April 10th is Sibling Day here in the USA. Let's look back at a family in Boston circa 1950 way. A father, a World War II vet with loads of scholastic talent. Talent for gambling and scotch. How nifty. First brother was a Vietnam vet with bad habits of his own. Drinking and gambling, just like the old man back home. First sister was a well-loved math teacher, amicably divorced, raising two good boys all alone. As third kid, I was not expected, as the marriage was supposed to fail. Foster homes and eventually adopted 6 months later. This could have ended, this sibling tale. 1 year later came number 4, another brother. That's right, the marriage wasn't over, even yet. He grew up and slept a lot, even during the day. It was the heroin, I heard my two nephews say. Then number 5, female arrives. She would soon be like our mother. She knew how to gamble and take one drink after another. Then came number 6, the last dude, who worked with his hands. And he waited for handouts from his other brother's hands. Marriage is finally over. Father has a boy with another. Mother hooks up with an abuser. And they create a new half-brother and sister. She is kind, she has creative talent, just like her mother. I don't know about much about the other half-brother. Father hooks up with a decent soul and produces a fine young lad. Moving forward about 60 years, this dude becomes the best friend I ever had. Old Alfred Adler proposed that sibling order produces a certain lifelong characteristic in us all. Recent studies added to that theory. They say home environments and economics and issues contribute to our rise and fall. My favorite study says what most theorists say, as people as they age are the happiest of all. They that have at least one terrific sibling can lean on whenever they call. Thank you.
Thank you, Wayne. It was almost like going through a family photo album with you. That was the way it felt as the as the piece progressed, and I really was listening hard because it was so interesting. So thank you for that. Almost like a collage. Um, oh, there's my sweetie fairy godmother-ish cutie, says Sue Beth Carlson with her uke.
Now that I'm all seated and strapped in, I need that thing. Thank you so much. So first, I have a poem about siblings, and then a little song about where those siblings came from. Growing home. Gardens can be tended or left to grow wild. And in between these extremes is the concept of permaculture. Gardens designed to grow freely in complementary interdependence. I believe we thrive when we blossom in the full color of our destiny, to feel the power, the beauty, the connection of it all. And we're all connected as siblings, rich with the multicolor hues of difficulties and strengths that affect one another in ways we may never fully understand. It's my dream that the nature of these traits unconditionally combine to create a sustainably blossoming garden home. Will you help it grow? Imagine you're walking down a street behind a tall, thin, red-haired man holding the hand of a short, heavy-set, dark-haired woman. Sprinkle some silver in their hair. Now you have an image of the last time my parents walked outside together on a street named Court Street. Let's go to Court Street. I'll take your hand, a life of great love. Isn't it grand? The years, how they've gone like a train whizzing by. So much to take in, so much to try. What have I learned from this life so complex? What can I take in? And what's coming next? What counts the most as life comes to an end? Stay with me, my love, my lover, my friend. Let's go to Court Street. I'll take your hand. Where shall we go? Are you okay? Can you stand? Let's go this way, honey. Thank you. I just wanted to mention that this song was co-written with Leslie Fedge. Thank you.
Thank you, Sue. Thank you so much. And by the way, she just wrote that song, a week and a half ago? It's just so lovely to hear music and poetry that's fresh. And by the way, the garden image was beautiful in your poem. Thank you. And now we have Terrell Walker. And it's his first time here, so hooray! Woo, 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 woo.
This is about brothers and sisters. Most of all, it's about unconditional love. Bear with me, my brother, my sister. Brother's love and a sister's hug. I realize I love you until the day I die. Even though we go through ups and downs, sometimes we play, sometimes we mess around. But when I needed someone, I can call on you. I know that you'll be there. Oh, I thank God for you. No matter what we gotta go through, there'll be good days and bad days too. Like 1 and 1 is 2, I'll always love you. You made me realize what it felt like when I looked in your eyes. I'll be there for you until the end of time. I love you. I adore you too, my brothers and my sister too. I love you. I swear I do. There'll be times when we don't understand. That don't stop us from being the best we can. You know, I love you. You know, I adore you. I appreciate you. I just want the world to know I love you so. From the bottom of my heart. We talking about you and me. You talking about me. Can I give you a hug? I'll lift you up. I'll lift you up. Whenever you're down, I'll be there. Whenever you're down, I swear I'm gonna do, Lord knows I'm gonna do whatever I have to do to pull you through. If you need a hand, all you got to do is reach out. I'll be there. I swear I'll be there. Don't you know I care? I'll be there. My brothers and my sister too. I adore you. I swear I really do. You feel See what I see. You'll be the lock, I'll be the key. You'll be my future, I'll be your destiny. Ooh. Yes, talking about brothers, talking about sisters. Can I give you a hug? Can I show you love? My brothers and sisters. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Terrell. He's a magical guy. And he's my kind of friend who understands the importance not just of loving people, but telling them as well. So his vocal improvisations are wonderful. Thank you so much. And a good old friend, Lee Drescher, so happy to see you.
Hi, everybody. Somehow, I missed the message, but I'm going to fabricate a bit. However, first of all, I'd like to read a poem about March. March is a month of in-between. The weather is mild or harsh and mean. The roar of the lion, the mew of the lamb. Which will it be? It's all such a scam. A cover of snow has left only mud, which falls off my boots and onto the rug. Spindly twigs atop branches all bare, so drab and so dreary, I cringe in despair. Cold blasts of wind keep temperatures low, which constrain me inside by the fire with its glow. But then one day, when the sunshine seems bright, I venture outside and rejoice in the light. From out of the earth spring daffodil tips, and buds in the branches are showing their lips. I spy in the grass a hint of green and know finally that spring has been seen. And I have a song about an egg. I think I might have sung this song during COVID on this, but the song has been revised. And I read children's stories online, and I'm reminded of a book that I love to read called The Runaway Egg. And Mother Hen asked little Henry to please mind his brother who was cracking out of an egg because she had to go on an errand. So she left Henry, and the little brother cracked out of the egg, and then he ran all over the place, and Henry had to catch him. And so that is my sibling story of the evening. And this song is the egg song. It's an egg, it's an egg, it's a delicate egg. A surprise is waiting inside. So be careful, so be gentle when you crack the shell. There's a neck to the crack that will make it come out well. But you better watch out, the shell can break, and all you've got left is a gooey mistake. Eggs are healthy, very healthy, and they're good for your brain. Lots of yolks and whites will keep you on the gain. Eggs are nutritious, they're delicious, and they're very good to eat. You can boil boil them, you can fry them, or scramble for a treat. But you better watch out, the shell can break, and all you've got left is a gooey mistake. There's a trick, if you want a little chick. Keep it warm, and keep it safe from harm. Every day you must sit on it, and sit and sit and sit. And if you keep on sitting, you'll finally get a hit. But you better watch out, the shell can break, and all you have left is a gooey mistake.
Thank you, Lee. Lovely poem about March. Thank you so much. They say April is the cruelest month. I'm not so sure that's true. March is giving us a run for its money. Jackson Gilman. And you brought a friend, right? Yay.
I wrote this piece over 20 years ago. It's about a big brother who's not very big, and he's confiding in his favorite toy. Mama's belly has shrunk. The baby is here. She's finally come, so let out a cheer. The baby is cute. They all make a big fuss. But sometimes I think they forget about us. I'm gentle with the baby and agree that she's cute, but I just drew this picture, and then they don't give a hoot. I'm starting to figure that's the way it will be. Mom and Dad love baby more better than me. I fell down again, I got a bump on my knee. Mama tried to kiss it better, and she says she loves me. But then I see her kiss the baby's head. And I know she kisses baby more better than me. The first time I took out the trash by myself, I didn't even need anybody's help. My daddy pat me on the back and he said he's proud of me. But then baby starts crawling, and it's plain to see that daddy's proud of baby more better than me. More better than me. How come they love baby more better than me? The baby they say is just as lucky can be. The way they ooh and ah and giggle, it's no wonder to me. I already know she's just as lucky can be. If it stays like this, they can just forget about me. The baby they say is as lucky can be, 'cause she couldn't have a brother more better than me? More better than me. She couldn't have a brother more better than me. Maybe it's true what they say about me. I'll try to be the best a big brother can be.
She really is fun when she's not crying, at least. But when she does, she's as loud as a beast. But I know how to get her to smile and play. And I can tell she loves me, and you know what they say, she really is lucky to have a brother like me. Nobody could love their baby sister more better than me.
Thank you, Jackson. You make the cutest little boy I've ever seen. And the whole idea, Jackson actually does a weekly program on Fridays, right? New Bedford?
Friday, 10 o'clock at the New Bedford Whaley National Historic Park. It changes every week, a different theme. This week, yeah, the theme's going to be colors and eggs.
Well, this will be a hit as well, I'm sure. Be the best you can be, right? And adults need to hear that too. Well, number one, we are almost at the end of the evening. Number two, we have another new friend who's coming up to the microphone, and his name is Scout Rockwell. He has the most beautiful guitar I've ever seen. He writes original music, and he's going to share his beautiful work with us tonight. So let's give him a big round of applause. Woo, 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 Scout!
How's sound? Is that okay? So this is a song I wrote recently. It's about biting your tongue to keep the peace, which I think kind of ties into the sibling theme a little bit. That's where I learned to do that first. Yeah, it's called Keeping Peace. It's time for me to get out of my own way. I can view this as day one, or tell myself one day. It's time for me to step into power. I feel my self-respect slipping with each passing hour. I'm keeping peace, but at what cost? When my sense of self is lost. Nobody wins when we try to keep score. I'm keeping peace, but at what cost? When my sense of self is lost. I owe it to my heart to be speaking up more. Don't let your struggles define you. It takes a little darkness, dear, to let the light shine through. The cracks in your armor let light in. And standing up for yourself shouldn't feel like fighting. It's time for me to
protect my energy. The things that held me back won't be the end of me. It's time for me to step into greatness, so I don't look back on this mess and realize I made this. Keeping peace, but at what cost? When my sense of self is lost. Nobody wins when we try to keep score. Keeping peace, but at what cost? When my sense of self is lost. I owe it to my heart to be speaking up more. Don't let your struggles define you. It takes a little darkness, dear, to let the light shine through. The cracks in your armor let light in. And standing up for yourself shouldn't feel like fighting. But at what cost? When my sense of self is lost. Owe it to my heart to be speaking up more. Keeping peace, but at what cost? When my sense of self is lost. Nobody wins when we try to keep score.
Thank you all.
Thank you, Scout. Thank you so much. I guess I've heard you do that song now a couple of times, but I guess I didn't realize how it was going to affect me tonight when we're talking about brothers and sisters. Whatever situations, just to be able to be there for one another, especially when we're family. So, thank you. How embarrassing. Sorry. I'm going to close off with a poem about my twin brother. In our family, in every generation, we've had severe problems with our hips. I had 2 hip operations. My father had 2 hip operations. But my twin brother had many, many hip operations. And this is a poem I wrote about him after he passed a little over 2 years ago. It's called Reparation. In Germany, 1891, the first recorded hip replacement used ivory, screws, plaster of Paris, and glue. The newsreel imprinted Jose Greco dancing the farruca on my brother's imagination. With arms raised, following in Greco's footsteps, he clapped a tattoo above his head, a Spanish sneer on his face. His feet beat staccato, the sound of horses racing across the plains. Instead of Cuban heels, He was fitted with a lift inside ugly black shoes, an attempt to level the length of his legs. Medical men disguised as inventors lashed him to the rack of pain, transformed him into a guinea pig. Born with flat-topped femurs, he bore 9 total hip replacements, ever-changing methods and materials. Metal cups shifted, concrete crumbled, saws pulverized bone, scalpels cut through sinew and muscle again and again. When he walked, even on the smoothest path, he rolled and grinded like a drunken pirate. He grieved at the end, legs withered, feet bruised and blackened like overripe plantains, his mobility at a standstill. Escuchar, put me in charge of the ever after. I will raise his arms, dress him in a bright bolero, shoe him in luminous leather zapatos, send him hale and holy across those hallowed hills, effortless hoofing on quick clicking heels. All right, back to business. Tonight's edited performance will be shown on FCTV's Channel 6, also streamed on the FCTV website, YouTube, as well as via Roku and Apple TV. So you gotta see it, somewhere. You gotta watch tonight's performance. Friends out there, if you would like to be a performer on Poetic License, please join us. The next Poetic License is Thursday, April 25th. The suggested theme will be nature. And a heads up about the future, the theme for May 2024 will be serendipity, which means chance, fortune, fate. You can sign up to be a performer by sending a text to our producer, Tony Sedera. His email is tony@fctv.org. Or you can simply come to the studio on Dillingham Avenue the night of each live performance to enjoy being an audience member. Thank you again, Tony, for your fantastic help. Thanks to the stellar camera crew. And thank you, brother and sister performers. How kind of you to share your talents. So until we meet again, peace and shine on.